Hello everyone. So in today's video I thought I would cover some of the positive aspects about Alphapointe, starting with the cafeteria, which I told you I would explain in today's video. So the cafeteria contains a lot of things. The company that runs it is called Company Kitchen, and in the cafeteria you have sandwiches. Some might be breakfast sandwiches, others are lunch sandwiches. You also have some desserts such as cookies and sometimes pudding. You have sides like chips, and sometimes they have salads. It's basically stuff that you might find at a gas station. And the rehab department has a card for all of the clients that you can use, and the limit per person is $7. This is paid for by the state, I believe. And if you go over that limit, they have coffee, tea, and water available for free. But usually you can get a drink, a sandwich, and a side for $7. In addition to the company kitchen, the activities of daily living instructor is in charge of cooking. And if you need to learn how to cook, one of the options is that if you prepare a meal, you are allowed to eat that meal during lunchtime, either in the activities of daily living apartment or in the cafeteria with the rest of the clients. And usually you prepare enough food to be able to take some home as well. And I learned a lot of things from the activities of daily living instructor. One of them was how to cook on the stove. I got to use the oven to make cookies. I got to learn how to use an air fryer. I got to learn how to cook on a George Foreman grill. And I got to learn how to load a dishwasher. What I learned from the Braille instructor was that I do need to continue reading Braille. I read a lot of Braille books while I was there, and I need to compose better college papers, and she helped me do that because she's also the academics instructor. And I also learned Unified English Braille, which is also called UEB, and I feel like that's important because it's pretty much today's standard in the US and maybe some other countries also. So I feel like that was important to learn. I learned from the tech instructor how to use JAWS because I haven't had a version of JAWS since version 12. I didn't realize how many features that I didn't know about until he started teaching me. And so it was good for me to learn about those features. I learned how to use a Braille display, including how to navigate the internet. how to proofread a paper or a sentence or a paragraph, how to update the display, how to plug it in and connect it to the iPhone and turn it off and turn it on. I also learned how to navigate the internet using JAWS, and I learned how to use Outlook because I haven't used Outlook in a very, very long time. So there was a lot of new things that I didn't know. I learned how to use Microsoft Office because, again, I hadn't used it in a long time. I learned how to use Google Docs because I felt like that would be important for my profession, for me to be able to use Google Docs. I learned from the O&M instructors, and I had both at one time, how to orientate myself to places. I went in thinking it was my mobility skills, but it was actually my orientation, which was a relief. I found out that it's not actually uncommon with people who have ROP, retinopathy of prematurity, like I do, to have orientation issues. I learned how many times I had to go from point A to point B. For me to be oriented to that route, mine is 5 to 7. I learned that I get reverse routes mixed up, and that in my brain, even though I know logically that it isn't, the reversed route is a completely different route. So for example, going from point B back to point A. I learned that my walking gait is slow, which could inhibit my chances of getting a guide dog. I learned that I have balance issues and I might need to use a support cane, which I kind of already knew that. And from the manager of the program, I learned that I have a disability in math, which I already knew. I learned that I have a difficult time doing two things at once, or I might have a difficult time doing two things at once, and that they recommend that I not have a job and go to college, which is good to know. And from the guy who runs the STEP and college prep programs, I learned how to act professional in my first job. I learned how to properly dress. I learned how to have a good attitude. And with the job coach's help, I did that. With the job coach's help, I learned how to fill out a resume. I learned how to fill out an application for a job because she helped me do that while I was there. And I learned that I can do whatever job I want to do, which is important because a lot of people think that they can't do something. Because I was honestly starting to have doubts about what I wanted to do, and so that was important for me. And finally, I made a lot of friends at Alphapointe. A lot of them left before I did. A lot of them left after I did. Either way, I still miss them. And there are some who are still there. And I know that they're going to do great. That's all I have for you today. Be sure to give this video a like. Be sure to subscribe, ring that notification bell, make sure it's set to all notifications, not occasional ones, because sometimes it actually does work. Make sure you leave a comment if you have something to say. Make sure that you like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter. Especially Twitter, because that's where I post when I'm posting a new video. Both of these things are Steffi 2010. And I shall see you tomorrow. And both of those links are also found in the description. Bye, guys!
Voiceover on. Camera. 11 minutes, 20 seconds.